Alright, and welcome to another video in my Road to Ironman Cairns training recap series. So here we are, already 7 weeks to go, so it's getting closer, and to be honest, I'm starting to feel a little bit more nervous each week. Have I done enough? All those sort of questions that start popping into your head. So anyway, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Trindall. I'm a 57-year-old triathlete based in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. And as we've already mentioned, I'm training for Ironman Cairns in June, which is getting closer and closer as we speak. So let's pop straight into the training week that was. So those of you who've seen week 8 saw that on the Sunday I had a long ride planned in that week 8. However, we had the Anzac Day throw a bit of a spanner into that, and what I did was, that was actually on the Saturday, but I switched that ride across into the Monday, so that actually became part of the week 7. I did still do 2 hours on that scheduled day, so it's not that I missed anything really there, but with the weather the way it was and the traffic that we had on that Anzac Day, it was more prudent to be err on the side of safety and to move the ride across. So Monday was a good day in that I'm based sort of in the northern suburbs of Brisbane. The wife was heading up to Noosa for part of a business, and what I wanted to do there was do a point-to-point ride rather than looping around and doing the same old rides I've done. So I kicked off with a 5-hour ride that day, and it was one of the most enjoyable rides I've had for a long time. So I rode up from Brisbane through up Caboolture, up the old highway, Biwa, sort of Landsborough, across to the Sunshine Coast via that Caloundra Road, up Kwana Way, through Mooloolaba, Maroochydore, over the bridge there, Twin Waters, and then up David Low Way. And I have to say that from David Low Way, from that sort of Majimba up to Noosa, has to be one of the most beautiful training roads to ride on. You have that designated bike path, or the green painted road section, so the traffic tend to be a little bit more respectful. It's nice and undulating as well, so you've got sort of those rolling hills, which I guess will be pretty much what Cairns will be like, and the scenery is just spectacular. So the ride itself went really well. I was really happy with the ride. I did hit rain when I got up to Noosa and then across to Taunton, and what I wanted to do to finish the ride off was, the Noosa Tri has a great little sort of, I think it's about a 3K climb, and I wanted to hit that a little bit over the 5-hour mark and just do a little bit of an effort up that to see how the legs would respond. And as I sort of rolled into or through the Taunton golf course there, down came the torrential rain. So I still did do the climb, which was fine, but coming back down I got a bit cold as well, so being wet, and you can't really work on the way down in those sort of conditions. So, but finished that ride off nicely, and very happy with the ride went, and used the car to come back with the wife. So Tuesday was a rest day, no training on that day. Wednesday, as I said earlier, I've split my long rides and long runs now, so I do my long run midweek with my long ride on the weekend. So on the Wednesday I did a 2-hour 15-minute run, and that's very much a zone 2 run, and very much practicing nutrition in the run as well. So I'm running that mid-zone 2, so I'm not really pushing into that sort of what heart rate I'll feel at upper zone 2, low to mid zone 3 heart rate that I'll run at Ironman Cairns, but I'm starting just to build that base, and I'm feeling quite good at the end of those runs now, so I can see that durability starting to come into that. So Thursday was back indoors on the indoor trainer. So what I do is I use the Rovi platform. I do ride the Cairns course, and that it has the older course. But but I've set it on ergo, so it's a very specific power-based warm-up, and then 3 by 18 minute holding Ironman power with a 3-minute recovery between each, and then a nice 15-minute warm down, so preparing myself for, making sure I'm loosening those legs up and preparing myself for the next session. So Friday morning, my favourite of the week is the little 4 by 4 minute session, run session that I do. So a nice little warm up down to Margate Beach, and then 4 minutes running at roughly 90%, just holding good form, concentrating on breathing and concentrating on cadence. And I'm noticing these are just getting quicker and quicker each week, so for that same heart rate, which is really sort of encouraging as well. So it means that the body's just becoming a lot more efficient at running at that higher pace, knowing that, you know, when I come back to the Ironman pace, it's feeling so much easier. So good session there. Lunchtime swim, I did 2,500 metres, 400 metre warm up, and then literally 2,000 metres of 100 metres. So I do the first 10 freestyle off 2 minutes. So I'm getting a good break, a good rest there of sort of 20 to 15 seconds. I'm coming in on that 138 to 141 mark. And then I have 1 minute rest at the end of those 10, and I roll into my next 10, but I use paddle and pull buoy, so I'm starting to load the shoulders up a little bit there for the last 10 as well. And then just 100 metres warm down and out. So Saturday, it was raining here in Brisbane again, so I did a 4-hour indoor ride on Rovi, and I rode the Ironman course in Cairns on that. So I sort of did the first 3 hours, which will take, so they only have the 90, the half Ironman course on Cairns. So I rode right back until coming back for the turnaround. Then I stopped it there at the 3-hour mark, reset it, and did the last hour heading back up north again. So went quite good, felt quite comfortable. It is always a bit more challenging, I feel, indoors. You don't get that rest that you do get with traffic lights and that outdoors. So I feel that 4 hours indoors is pretty much 4.5, 5 hours outdoors anyway. So Sunday, I had two sessions planned for Sunday. The first was an open water swim, which I went down to Sutton's Beach at Redcliffe there. There's a group that meet at 7 o'clock on Sundays, so you get to swim with a few other people, which is quite good. You can practice that sitting on feet, up on the shoulder, things like that in open water. You can also throw your wetsuit on, which is great as well. Nice open water swim, just did some up and backs, nothing really over the top there, just sort of rolling the arms through, everything like that. So I was meant to do a run that afternoon, but this week's week 7 was a very big week work-wise. I had 6 straight shifts, and a lot of them were later evening shifts. So by the time I got to Sunday afternoon, I was exhausted, and I opted out of that longer run, and I threw that the run across to the next morning, so just to give myself a bit more breathing space as well and a bit more recovery. So I found this is the last week in the build heading in. So what I've done there is I normally do 3 weeks of build and then a 4th week of recovery. This one's been a 4-week of build, and this is the 4th week in that build, so I really am carrying a lot of fatigue, and I notice that in things like my heart rate variability. My resting heart rate's starting to climb a little bit as well in the mornings and things like that, so I'm being very mindful of that as far as recovery goes. So the week 6 that we're in now will be a bit of a recovery week, which normally is that, 1, 2, 3 and the 4th week, but this is going to be the 5th week, which is the recovery week. And this weekend I'll be racing in the Moreton Bay Tri, so that should be a great little hit out, being a 2k swim, 60k bike and a 15k run. So it'll be good to practice a bit of nutrition at race pace as well, and we'll have a bit more of a talk about that next week, so in the week 6 to go video. Anyway, if you've made it this far in the video, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, throw them down below. If you've subscribed, thanks so much. If you haven't, you know the drill. And until next time, guys, stay safe out there.